All right, if you're an M365 admin, listen up. There's a really good chance you're making this one tiny mistake when you're onboarding new users. And look, it seems totally harmless at first, but it's quietly setting you up for a massive problem down the line. A problem that could seriously cost you.
Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to talk about a step in the M365 user setup that almost everyone overlooks. But this isn't some minor detail. It has huge consequences for your compliance, your security, and even your automation. So yeah, let's get right into it.
So it all starts with what feels like a job well done, right? You've got a new employee starting, and your goal is to get them up and running as fast as humanly possible. You're just flying through that checklist.
I bet this checklist looks super familiar to a lot of you. You've assigned the licenses, yup. Their mailbox is working, check. Teams is all set up and ready to go, perfect. The user is happy, their manager is happy, everyone's happy. But take a look at that last item. You kind of just skip the user details, things like their department or their job title. You probably figure, I'll get to it later, or it's not really that important anyway.
And honestly, that's a totally natural reaction. So what's the big deal? They're just optional fields in Entra ID, right? I mean, how much trouble can a few empty text boxes really cause? Well, as it turns out, a whole lot.
Okay, so this is where that tiny little oversight starts to morph into a ticking time bomb. And the first place it's going to go off is in your organization's compliance.
You see, the game completely changes the second your organization starts using the really powerful compliance tools inside M365. And I'm talking specifically about Microsoft Purview, because all of a sudden, those optional fields, they're not so optional anymore.
The key concept you've got to understand here is something called adaptive scopes. Now, the easiest way to think about these is like smart filters. So instead of you having to manually apply a policy to every single person in the finance department, you just create one smart rule. A rule that says, hey, apply this data retention policy to everyone whose department attribute says finance. It's brilliant, it's super efficient, and it is 100% dependent on having accurate user data.
And this table just lays it out perfectly. Let's take that first example. Your company policy is to retain all files for your finance team for, say, 7 years. That policy is looking for one thing, the user's department field to say finance. Well, if that field is blank for your new hire, the policy just can't see them. It's not that the policy itself is broken, it's that the user is completely invisible to it. Poof! You now have a gaping hole in your compliance coverage, and you probably don't even know it's there.
But here's the kicker. This isn't just a one-off problem inside Purview. Oh no. That one piece of missing data creates a massive ripple effect, and it starts to weaken the intelligence and automation across your entire M365 tenant.
I want you to think of these user details, department, title, manager, as individual puzzle pieces. When they're all there, they form this complete, clear picture of your organization. And it's a picture that Microsoft 365 can use to make all sorts of smart decisions for you, automatically. But when you start leaving pieces out, the whole system just gets dumber.
And here's exactly how that plays out day to day. You know those dynamic groups you use for access control? Well, they can't automatically add a new hire to the All Managers Security group if their job title field is blank. What about an automated approval workflow you built in Power Automate? It's going to break the moment it needs to find someone's manager and that field is empty. Your analytics get all skewed. And as we just saw, your compliance policies completely miss their targets. It's crazy, right? One tiny oversight creates all these different points of failure.
Okay, so we've spent a lot of time on the problem and its pretty scary consequences. But the good news is, the fix is actually really straightforward. It all comes down to changing your process, and really, your mindset, so you can build a stronger foundation right from day one.
So here are 4 concrete things you can do. First, and this is the absolute gold standard, automate. If you possibly can, sync your HR system directly with Entra ID. That way, the data is always fresh and correct. Second, go update your manual onboarding checklist right now. Make fields like department, job title, manager, and country mandatory. An account is not done until those are filled out. Third, you've got to be proactive. Run PowerShell or Graph scripts regularly to audit your environment and find those users with missing info so you can fix them. And finally, number 4, educate your whole team. Make sure every single admin understands why these little fields are actually mission-critical data points.
At the end of the day, this all boils down to a huge shift in mindset. When you skip those user details, you're not actually saving time. You're just kicking the can down the road. You're creating technical debt and a headache for your future self, or for someone else on your team.
But when you take a few extra seconds to fill them in correctly from the start, you're actually building a robust, intelligent, and compliant foundation that benefits the entire organization.
So the next time you're setting up a new user, just remember this. Your job isn't just to create an account so someone can log in. Your real job is to create a complete digital identity inside your system. It's a tiny change in your process, I know, but it makes a world of difference.